Me 31 male with my wife 29, of 3 years, together 11, incapable of admitting this is almost certainly the end. My wife and I met in college. She was 18 and I was 20. I fell for her hard from the moment I saw her. We grew up together and traveled the world together, and I was convinced we were perfect for each other. We survived long distances for years, even across continents. Our sex life was never amazing, and we'd go through dry spells of even a few months, but we chalked that up to stress, medication, and her overall low libido. I proposed 6 years in. She was ecstatic. We lived apart again, then were married 3 years ago. We were a highly intelligent, happy, loving power couple who had found our soulmates. I worshipped her. There wasn't anything I wouldn't do to make her happy. I did all of the housework, took care of the cooking and pets, and would drop anything to make her happy. I had my purpose in life, which was to make my angel happy. We moved again to a major city a year later in a small one-bedroom apartment, and I started to notice a change. Despite all the city has to offer, she was bored and antisocial. She complained we had nothing to talk about and there was nothing to do. I tried to make things better and entertain her as I always do, but I sensed something was bothering her. Fast forward a year, and I realize she's having an emotional affair, at the minimum, with a co-worker. She lies about it, but I see texts on her phone. A lot of tears later on both sides and further lies from her, and I forgive her, but say that rebuilding trust takes time. Months go by and she confronts me, saying that she wants to explore her sexuality, specifically BDSM, with other people, and that we need to open our marriage or split. I am completely crushed and devastated. Initially, I said no, but after a lot of thought, I agree, under the condition that our relationship remains the most important thing. We work on trust and spending time together in our sex life while this happens. After speaking with a counselor, I draft a contract establishing rules and boundaries so we are all on the same page. She begrudgingly signed it, after making a few tweaks, but really didn't seem invested in it. That night, she went off to have her first experience that I knew of, though in hindsight, I expect she had already started. BDSM is now her life. She loves it. It fulfills her and makes her happier than I've ever seen her. She broke and lied about every item in our agreement. After another crisis and tears in which she admitted falling in love and having unprotected sex, she agreed to 3 simple rules. Always be honest, use protection, and nobody in our bed, and to be respectful. I went on a business trip and she broke all 3. She looked me straight in the face and lied to me repeatedly again. We tried to move forward, to talk openly as friends about what we want and how to make things better. However, we were stuck in the loop of her doing something without respecting me and my feelings, lying about it, leading to tears and us not enjoying spending time together. The time we do have together is awkward, tense, and not fun, and she's constantly on her phone talking to kinky people, even when we go on vacation or visit her family. We just hit 6 months of this experiment. We haven't been intimate during this period. She acknowledged that she doesn't respect me, doesn't enjoy spending time together, and wants to move out to figure out what she wants in life. As gut-wrenching as that is, I agree that it's the best course of action. However, she can't bring herself to say that she doesn't want to be together. I feel as if she's just using me for emotional support and wonderful cooking until she finds the right kinky guy to settle down with. At this point, she is actively avoiding me, staying in Adam's apartment, and our conversations are nothing other than transactional. Ever the martyr, I'm the one looking at apartments for her since she is too busy working, studying, and being kinky. I no longer know what I want in life. I now feel resentment, anger, jealousy, and even hatred toward the woman I love. I've been on some fun dates myself, but honestly, my heart hasn't been in it. Our relationship has no love, no passion, no joy, no cuteness. We were great at unique cute things, and it is a chore. I want to fix it because that's who I am as a person, but I am running out of ideas and emotional willpower. So am I crazy at this point to want to keep fighting even as my desire to keep things together fails? Why can I not bring myself to see that this relationship has already crashed and burned? We still love each other very much. How can we make spending time together enjoyable after so much has happened? Is it my fear of failure or looking back and thinking I didn't fight as hard as I could to be with the woman I love? How can I deal with the gut-wrenching pain that has me in tears every day and has led my mind to consider very dark options? Well, Luffy, I'm confused. You say you still love each other, but you've also said that she doesn't respect you, she doesn't want to spend time with you. That's not love. And also, you're saying that you kinda hate her. I understand the resentment. Man, you have been a doormat your whole relationship. I'm really sorry if this sounds harsh, but I think you need a little bit of a wake-up call, and harsh words may just do that. You need to stop trying to help her look for an apartment and just go to a lawyer, draft a divorce paper, serve her, and be done with her. Then you need to go to a therapist to build yourself back up again, because right now you're a shell of a man. In hindsight, the thing that should have happened when she says we either do this or we split, when your partner puts you in a position that you just don't want to be in and they force it, then yeah, that's done. That's not love anymore. And the thing is, OP, you didn't fail. You just let yourself get taken advantage of. The marriage was gonna fail anyways because apparently she was never into it. OP, there comes a time in where you just need to face the facts and stop being in denial. This relationship isn't going anywhere. She doesn't want to fix it. She doesn't want to do anything with you. Do you really want to try to spend the rest of your life with somebody who treats you this way? Don't waste your time. Girl is fine, get divorced and move on. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? At which point would you have said, I'm done with this crap and going for a divorce? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Deleted says, you are crazy for wanting to keep fighting. It is crazy to fight for a one-sided relationship. If both parties are not actively fighting, this is insanity. And yes, you are allowing her to use you. She doesn't love you. She could not treat you the way she's treating you and love you. And OP responds, you are right, of course. She promised she was committed to working it out. I believed her. I also think for her, love and respect are two different things, with the respect clearly missing. She does whatever she wants. She lies to me in some perverse sense of love so that I don't feel bad. Or perhaps it's because she doesn't want a guilty conscience. Vega62A says, you are trying to save your marriage out of fear of change and the unknown, not because it's actually worth being fixed. So true. It's really, really clear that you are being used. Your wife has crossed every boundary and lied to your face repeatedly. She is not your wife anymore, just somebody you support emotionally and financially. Stop supporting her. I promise, a year from now, you will look back on this and wonder why the hell you put up with this crap for so long. Ansar Zaid says, this reminds me so much of my ex. You talk about how all you wanted to do was make her happy. You call her your angel. He was just like that. He adored me. I did not feel that way about him. I was so jealous of how he felt because I wanted to taste it. I wanted to know what being in love felt like because I didn't feel anything like that. His love for me made me so happy. It was a burden to me. He wanted me to be as happy as he was, but how could I be? He expected me to be all these wonderful things for him, and I just didn't feel it like he did. I cared for him, but I never needed him like he needed me. I couldn't be his angel forever. There is no saving this. She is gone. She should have left a long time ago. And OP responds, this is a great point. I never thought about it from that perspective. Ramilo says, I am not surprised as to why she doesn't respect you. After all this, you still think she is worth fighting for? Pathetic man. Just drop her and gain your own self-respect. Stop worshipping anyone. Ever. OP's short-term update. Thanks everyone for the advice. It's tough love, but I needed it. That's why I posted here. To begin with, a few more details and had some mutual friends support me yesterday, including one who has seen the relationship from the beginning, where we effectively held a wake for the relationship. I'm ready to let it go now. Her friends in the BDSM community. Even her entire family last year begged me to leave her. I just didn't listen. 3. She's bouncing around the BDSM community, having 4 DOMs in 6 months, plus tons of other play partners. Something is causing those relationships to crash and burn as well. Namely, the Dom falling in love with her and wanting her to be monogamous. 4. The plan is for her to move out as soon as possible, and we cut contact. Financials will take some time to sort out. I will tell her in person, I owe her that. And everyone is right, she is finding a place. And 5. She's also clean, per her test last week. I'm still getting tested, of course. OP short-term update number 2. I had the talk. She's out after this week and found the place on her own, with her newest dog. God, it hurts. I realize that I have some serious codependency issues and that I've had them since the start of the relationship. Sure, there were plenty of times I resented doing everything, but I kept hoping she'd reciprocate. I've got my work cut out for me. And at SCKS it took me this long to realize it. Well, OP, better late than never to realize it. Like the community said, you gotta move on from this thing. You gotta just cut your losses and move on with your life. We all agree with that. I mean, even her family told you to leave her. Dude, that was the biggest message right there. Update. First of all, thank you to everyone who read and replied to my post. It really was appreciated and helped me go through with everything that needed to be done. So, my soon-to-be ex-wife moved out a little over a month ago. I didn't lift a finger to help her move or find a place. While we did text about some logistical matters and who gets what, communications have, for the most part, been transactional in nature, and at this point, have petered out entirely. A few days post-move, she said that she was in tears every day and hoped we'd be able to be friends in the end. I realize I don't miser at all anymore, but the pain of what she did to me is still very real. The first 2 weeks were incredibly tough. I cried at least once a day for the first 2 weeks. Since then, I've redecorated the apartment, started doing things for myself, and have really started to move on emotionally. I haven't found happiness yet, but the pain has stopped. My heart is at peace, and I can sleep at night without wondering what she's doing or who. And that's an incredible improvement. I've had a handful of dreams where she appears and they have turned into nightmares. All the pain comes rushing back. When I awake, I am relieved that she's not there, and I feel that's an important step in the healing process. In terms of having any sort of friendship moving forward, I'm frankly ambivalent. At this point, I don't have any positive feelings towards her. All she stands for in my mind is the lies and the pain that she has caused me. I plan on telling her when we next meet in a few months to finalize the split and complete the paperwork that I am willing to consider being distant friends. But that without trust and respect, it's a non-starter, and that I am unwilling to invest any time, effort, or emotional energy into improving that. She is welcome to put in the effort if she wants. One thing to point out is that after she moved out, she left her wedding dress and a sex toy from another partner lying out on the sofa. She claimed she was in a rush and would pick it up later, but I read it as a last FU to me, which, as painful as it was, helped with closure. She's either so clueless that she didn't understand how I would feel when I saw that, or incredibly vindictive. The two. In either case, it confirmed the decision to have her out and file for divorce. I've spent a lot of time with friends who have helped me through the process, including one from work who went through a similar situation as a woman. I haven't had the opportunity for counseling yet, 6-month wait list, but I am noticing significant improvement in my mental state over the span of a month. I've even started casually dating again. I'm not desperately trying to get into a serious relationship again, but I want to explore and experience what a positive relationship entails for a change. I do have issues of codependency to work on. I know that many people said that I stayed way too long and that she had already moved on, which is true. However, the silver lining is that I can move on with no regrets. I know that I tried absolutely everything to make things work, and that I persevered even past the point I should have. She never did, and I wouldn't be surprised if I got a phone call in 5, 10, or 15 years from now from her full of regret. She's a difficult woman to love, and if she does not learn from her mistakes, she will not find happiness in the end. The only stumbling block I still face is this desire for an apology from her. Perhaps it is because I want her to be happy in the end and learn from her mistakes. Perhaps it is a selfish desire for her to acknowledge and validate the pain she caused me. I am trying to forgive her for my own sake, but I can never condone her behavior, cruelty, and disrespect. Well, OP, maybe therapy is what you need in order to get over her. I don't think you have to forgive her, because if she doesn't acknowledge that she's caused you pain, well, then there's nothing to forgive. All you need to do is just build yourself back up and forget about her. So on that note, OP, here's wishing you the best in the future. Thank you so much for sharing, and take care. And now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user NoBuilder7010. Insurance company requires repair quotes on letterhead. My pleasure. My husband and I bought a boat in a storage lot to flip. We spent months of time and buckets of money to fix her up, and we were getting close to being done. The work included painting and rehabbing the mast, the stick that holds the sails, which was being stored in a cradle next to the boat. It was well inside our space, but it did extend beyond the boat itself a few feet, so we marked it with a neon orange safety cone. Just days after painting the mast, my husband called me from the storage lot with the news that someone had damaged it. It turns out, the facility's camera caught the rat trap guy driving right into the mast, knocking it to the asphalt, driving over it, stopping, and then back over it. Naturally, he didn't leave a note, but his truck was easily ID and fessed up when confronted. He didn't want to go through insurance, so we worked up a figure based on us buying used gear, most of it not cheap, to replace what was broken and doing all the work ourselves for free. It was less than $1,000, and anyone who knows boats will know what a bargain that was. Even so, he decided to go through insurance after all. The agent who called us needed a quote from a business, not just our scribbled estimate, so I contacted our local cheap boatyard for a do-it-yourself quote. They just stored the mast while we did all the work. That bumped the total we were seeking to about $2,500. We spent 5 months trying to get the agent to respond, and when he finally did, it was to say they couldn't accept an emailed quote. It had to be an attachment on letterhead. The rinky-dink yard only sells quotes in the body of emails because they have zero forks to give. He all but called us liars and scammers who could have had their buddies supply this fake-looking estimate. Though company policy required at least 2 quotes on letterhead to move forward, I confirmed that he would not be able to process our claim without those 2 quotes. Correct. I also confirmed these yards could be anywhere in the state. Correct. I warned him that the new quotes would be significantly higher, but he snidely said that was fine as long as they were on letterhead. Cue Malicious Compliance and some F around and find out. Having worked in the boating industry for most of my life, I knew exactly who to call, the 2 most respected, idest expensive boatyards in the state. These quotes included the yards doing all the work, replacing all damaged gears with new, storage fees and transportation to and from our storage lot. Both were hundreds of miles away. Unsurprisingly, he called as soon as he got the quotes asking if we could please use the Rinkadink Yards quote. Oh, you can't do that. You might get in trouble since it's company policy, right? We've got to follow all the rules, lest someone think we're scammers, right? He wasn't happy. A week later, we got a check for the original quote we scribbled down for the rat trap guy. Guess the agent decided to see if we'd just bend over after he called us liars and cheats. No way. I called our insurance, who got on the line with the other agent and gave him what for. 2 days later, we got a second check for the remainder. I'm sure someone spit on it, but I was happy enough to deposit that $14,000. OP, you were trying to be nice. You were trying to help out and get this thing sorted quickly. But no, he had to be in a hole, so as you said, he effed around and found out. Good for you, OP.